Nicolas Cage, the Superman from another timeline. When Nicolas Cage appeared in The Flash 2023 as an alternate universe Superman, fans were stunned. It wasn't just a cameo, it was decades of unrealized dreams finally taking shape. Cage's connection to Superman began in the late 1990s when he was cast as the star of Superman Lives, a Tim Burton-directed reboot based on Kevin Smith's script. Warner Brothers greenlit the project for a summer 1998 release, with Cage under a $20 million pay-or-play contract and Burton earning $5 million. The screenplay, rewritten by Wesley Strick and later by Dan Gilroy, would have featured Brainiac and Doomsday as villains, with a psychological, existential tone, even involving therapy scenes for Clark Kent. Cage underwent costume tests, and concept art showed him in a unique, futuristic suit. Producer John Peters insisted on the inclusion of a giant mechanical spider, an idea famously reused in Wild Wild West. Pre-production reportedly cost nearly $30 million before the project was canceled just weeks before filming. Although Superman Lives never materialized, its legacy endured. In 2015, the documentary The Death of Superman Lives: What Happened explored the film's troubled history, featuring interviews with Tim Burton, Kevin Smith, and key creatives, along with behind-the-scenes footage. Cage never let go of the role. In 2018, he voiced Superman in Teen Titans Go to the movies, marking his first official performance as the Man of Steel, a wink to the fandom and a nod to what might have been. Then came The Flash in 2023. Director Andy Muschietti brought Cage in for a brief but impactful multiverse cameo. Through volumetric capture and digital de-aging, Cage finally appeared in the role he was once meant to headline, though the scene was heavily altered in post-production, showing Cage battling a giant spider. He clarified in interviews that no such scene was filmed. In fact, he stood quietly, conveying emotion with just his eyes. Reflecting on the experience, Cage said, "I was glad I didn't blink. It was the feeling of being actualized. It felt satisfying." He also praised seeing costume designer Colleen Atwood's work finally appear on screen. After all those years, Cage's Superman cameo was placed among others in The Flash's Chrono Bowl sequence, alongside Christopher Reeve, George Reeves, Helen Slater, and others, connecting every cinematic incarnation of the character in a sweeping multiversal tribute. For fans, it was a moment of recognition that even a Superman who never made it to the big screen could still earn his place in the mythos. So what is Nicolas Cage's greatest contribution to Superman? It's not a movie or a performance. It's a legacy of imagination. His version of Superman lived for decades as a cultural what-if, becoming a part of comic book lore without ever taking flight, until he finally did. Cage transformed an unfinished dream into a lasting legend. And with one quiet scene, he reminded us, even the Superman who almost wasn't, still belongs among the stars.